Hey y'all, so here we are in my Notion workspace. Not really sure exactly where to start, but this is not the full workspace. So let me not even say that. This is not even a dashboard. This is my master task database. Why did I start in my master task database for my very first episode of my Notion setup? Because really, everybody else doing their Notion setups are showing their entire workspace as a whole, and they can probably get through the whole thing in like 30 minutes. And honestly, I tried to do that and I couldn't get through my whole Notion short of 45 minutes. So I basically was like, I'm not about to make y'all sit in 45 minutes of my rambling about how amazing Notion is and showing it off. Because after I would say about 15 minutes of my first episode, it's really just about me showing it off. It has nothing to do with inspiring you at all or inspiring you to actually pick it up, right? This video is not necessarily for current Notion users, although it's a really great kind of like icebreaker, I guess is what you want to call it, for just, hey, here I am, you know what I'm saying? Just walked in the room, came new to the party, you know what I'm saying? I'm a Notion user too. This is how I got mine. This is my business card. This is my elevator pitch. So as far as this episode goes, this is my elevator pitch for work life in Notion or something like that. Whatever. Bear with me. These intros and these, talks that I'm talking about for each of these episodes are definitely going to be less stuttery and stammery and choppy and whatever. But, I wanted to get it out and I wanted to share. And I figured this was also the simplest way to really encompass and give a really good bird's eye view of what I use my Notion for. So, before I go into really showing you what the aesthetic and all of the formats and worksheets that I have in my Notion, like what they do and what they look like, I figured this was a really great way to just start from scratch. Now, I didn't actually start this page from scratch when I started my workspace, or I didn't start here when I started my workspace. I actually started in a completely different pillar. I want to say I started in either execute, refine, or life. Um, well, worship was definitely the first, but not in Notion. I'm gonna say that. Worship had been happening like all along, and of course life is happening all along, so I was already doing things within those pillars, just not specifically in Notion. But when I found Notion, I was at a point where I was looking to find something to help me become more productive with like home projects, schoolwork, and meal planning, which is why the execute, refine, and life are probably the most filled out and semi aesthetic. Um, in my next handful of episodes, you will see what I mean. But currently, the workspace, and probably for the next few episodes that you'll get to see, this workspace is definitely a work in progress, definitely under construction. I I'll say that I've been using Notion pretty consistently for maybe 6 months, probably a little bit longer than that, but I want to say most seriously within the past 6 months that I was kind of, moving and kind of playing with it um, before that and kind of had a couple of things here and there. But as I became more used to using the system and understanding what things I could do and what things I couldn't do, then I realized more what I really wanted to use Notion for. And so, if you are familiar with Notion, it's a really great productivity tool. If you are not familiar with Notion, which I'm assuming that a lot of people that are here watching my channel right now in this first episode, that you are not familiar with Notion. So I'll give a little overview of what it is and what I'm using it for. So it is generally speaking a productivity tool, but it can be used for so many other things. Like you can build a whole website, a whole functional website from here and actually keep up with the back end stuff that's associated with that website from here. But you can also create databases that house a number of websites in one database. If you'd like, you can use it to do schoolwork, which a lot of people that are in the community are using Notion for. You can use it for architecture and design, productivity, task management. And that is also another thing that people are using it a lot for. What really got me excited about using it was being able to use the database feature and functions that are associated with the views, the table views and filters and sorts was meal planning and fitness schedule. Now, that does not mean that I'm like a fitness guru or that I'm all about health and wellness. Well, I mean, I am. I like doing health and wellness things. It makes me feel good. It makes my body feel good. I feel good about life when I do it, when I practice. And using Notion allows me, and using my Notion to meal plan and do all of those things allows me to feel even more accomplished about my fitness and wellness journey. But really, I just like that I can see it in different uh I like to see it in different ways. And so life was like the easiest pillar to be able to do that in because we eat every day. And meal planning was probably one of my major pain points in terms of figuring out how to manage. Not that I have a huge family, but for me, it happened pretty quickly having two babies back to back, that I needed to have something more scheduled out for not necessarily meal hard times, but what were the meals, right? So, because some days I just don't be feeling like cooking, of course, but then I'm also, we're not really big fans of leftovers. So I'm not really making a whole lot of batch meals, which then creates the problem of having to cook more than one time a week, which I don't necessarily have a problem with because I really like to eat. I don't necessarily like to cook, but I like to eat more than like to cook. So I will cook what I want to eat. And so the only thing that really motivates me to cook is to make sure that I'm cooking something that I like. Now, meal planning has helped in that I have more go to staple meals that I can create. But, I guess we'll get into that as we talk more in each episode in depth about each of those pillars. But here it's just about, getting to know me on a bird's eye view kind of thing. Things that I associate with this pillar, and just kind of letting you absorb and feel motivated and feel resonance with some of the things that you're seeing on the screen. And maybe feel excited for when I get to talk about them. Now, I may not talk too deeply about it. I do plan to have a podcast where I get to invite different hosts and different experts that have helped me along this journey within those different pillars. And so in the areas that I am not an expert, which are very many, especially here, I will definitely want to use my platform to inform in a different way and just allow my folks to have access to some really amazing resources and also show them a really different way to resonate with some of the content that they consume, and feel like you're getting more from just watching a YouTube series or listening to, a podcast or anything like that. Like, really be actively listening and actively ready to apply what you hear because, we're living in a time where it's really important for you to be mindful about what you are feeding yourself and how you are taking care of yourself because it's folks out here, it's things out here that are really trying to take us down, take us out. And mental health is important. Physical fitness is very important. It's even more important than it's ever been now. Mental health has been more important than it's ever been right now. Spiritual health has been more important than it's ever been right now. And, that's a lot just in and of itself. And those are three major things that aside from physical wellness and fitness, you can't see whether they're going bad or they're doing good. And the only times that you can see that things are really, really bad or things are really, really good is on your face, is on your body, it's in your body. You know what I mean? So, but being able to manage all of those things while you still have children, while you still have a spouse, while you still have a job, while you still have career or what have you, the thing that, your hustle, whatever it is that you do to make money, because it takes a lot out of your physical body to get out there and get the work done. So, and being able to manage all those things together and then also still have the time and energy to connect with different people in the community and in your village. You know what I mean? Because you need to have that too. And I mean, if COVID hasn't taught us, all of these things are very important and almost equally important and to the point where you need to figure out how to juggle. You need to figure out how to juggle 10 balls. You need to figure out how to spin 10 plates. You need to figure out how to do that quickly because, you know what I'm saying? They out here. I mean, for real. You don't want to get caught slipping. For real, you don't. So, I mean, you got to be strong in each of these pillars. The people that I follow and the experts that I like to get my information and my advice and my inspiration from, they're not saying specifically and directly that these are the things that you need to do to make your life better. These are the steps, Matter of fact, if anybody's telling you 10 steps to be a millionaire, please don't pay them. 6 steps to getting your first $12,000 deal. I mean, maybe that's a thing, whatever. But I'm not saying you go for all the free stuff because you know when to make the right investment. I'm going to say that. But you're not going to know without getting this work, without doing the work. You're not ever going to know. So, I mean, shoot, why not just do the work?